Wow, this is a big one. Not only it's a 40-year anniversary, it is for Paulie. Believe it or not, even though at 40 years, he's not the first one at BNI, not even the second or the third. He is actually the seventh to actually work 40 years for BNI. Most of you, I would say, Paul is probably the most known partner in the firm because he had a hand in locating most of you or actually starting the interview process. So you all know him well. And I can only imagine how many times he had to do the BNI speech over the years. But that's Paulie for you, doing what he can for BNI. So you all know him to be competitive. You know him he likes to be right. And outside engineering, he likes to review other people's work and make comments on it. And that's our deal. I write important letters or marketing materials, stuff that's going to stay on for years. I give it to Paul to kind of review and comments. I make the corrections, we send it out. So a few years back, that's what happened on a letter, did that. And then fast forward 3-4 months, I had to send the same letter to somebody else. And the little devil in me, I was wondering, if I give it back to Paul, would he give it back to me or would he make more corrections? So I said, let me find out. I gave it back to Paul. I wasn't sure. I was 50-50. And of course, Paul came back with the letter full of red marking, made it look like an Italian hit job, a letter that he already reviewed. But in all seriously, Paul, you and I have been running this company for the last 20-some years. And we've had many shared tough times, but a lot more triumphs. And over the years, I discovered how loyal and committed you are to really BNI and all of us. I am in awe as ever of how committed you are to BNI. And kind of a fun fact, a few years back, or probably Paul wasn't even a partner, DeSimone is a large structural firm in our area who tried to steal Paul from BNI. And all Paul wanted to do is to turn him down. But I believe either Mr. Nitre or Bart Wallace talked him into go through the interview process, learn what you can, and come back with the information. And Paul did. But really the point is, imagine an employer telling an employee to go through an interview process, knowing how and trusting how committed Paul is to BNI. I have always cherished our time together, our memories, our 7 a.m. calls every day over the last few years. And I can talk forever, but I know there's a lot more folks who wants to say a few words. So I'm gonna stop now and I will be back.
Hi Paul, happy 40th anniversary, my friend. We have been working together for 30 of those years, and you have accomplished so much in that time. You have been instrumental in making accounting a reliable and efficient department. The last 4 or 5 individuals you've recommended have been right on point, dedicated, smart, and fully committed to their profession. With your help, we replaced an outdated manual accounting system and transformed it into an efficient, computerized one. Your financial instincts have consistently guided BNI towards becoming a stronger and more profitable firm. You give your time freely and unselfishly to anything that benefits Bliss and Nitrate. You are involved in so many responsibilities: human resources, corporate insurance, health insurance, marketing, business development, the list goes on. And you still find time to play pickleball and run not just 1, but 2 corporate runs. You truly are BNI's version of the Energizer Bunny. Our crazy schedule, usually starting at 4:30 a.m., gives us a chance to talk through the day's business in peace. And even though we don't always agree, we always share the same goal: making Bliss and Nitrate better. There's an old sports saying that iron sharpens iron. It means competition brings out your best. Paul, because of you, I am as sharp as a razor blade. My friend, it has been my privilege and honor to work with you all these years. You inspire me to be better, not just a better employee, but a better person. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you a very happy and memorable 40th anniversary. God bless you, my friend.
Hey, Mr. Z, congratulations on your 40th anniversary. I'm so happy to be part of this presentation because 40 years is an incredible milestone, and I've been lucky enough to know you for the past 20 years. I started working with BNI when I was just a teenager, and I wish I would have understood back then what I understand very clearly now. Your work ethic, your directness, your standards, and expectations weren't there to make things hard. They were there to make BNI better, to make me better. And I wish I would have understood that sooner. One thing that will always mean a lot to me is how you looked out for me during my time away from BNI. You didn't have to, but you did. And that says a lot about who you are, not just as a boss, but as a person. You made me feel valued. You made me feel remembered and supported. And that means a lot more than people realize. So Mr. Z, today is not just about celebrating how long you've been here. It's about celebrating the lives you've influenced, the people you've mentored, and the many quiet ways you've shown up for your team. So today, Mr. Z, I hope you truly feel and know how valued you are. Thank you for everything you've done for BNI. BNI wouldn't be what it is without you. So thank you. Congratulations once again.
Hey Paul, congratulations on 40 years at BNI from myself, Adam, and the rest of the crew here in Dallas. Like most of you guys on this call or at this party, Paul was the first person to reach out to me before the hiring process began. So he was my very first interaction with BNI, and then for probably the next 10 years, I didn't really know what he did. He was that guy that sat in the corner office. He was from Michigan. He was super competitive at sports, and somehow his favorite sport was fixed professional wrestling. Go figure. But once I got down to Miami, became a partner, and started working closely with him, I saw how important he is to the company and all the things that he does that, quite frankly, a lot of people don't want to do or really can't do. And he really keeps the ball rolling behind the scenes for those of you that don't know. We've also developed not just a business relationship, but a personal relationship together. And I know that I can go to Paul and speak about just about anything, and he's going to give me the most honest answer, whether he knows it or not. If he doesn't know it, he's going to tell me he doesn't know. And I've always appreciated that about him. But again, Paul, 40 years with a strong company like BNI, building a family, 2 daughters, and now you're a grandfather is something to be very, very proud of. And we wish you all the best and hope that you stick around with BNI for a long time coming. Congrats again. Bye.
Dear Paul, we're coming upon your 40th anniversary for being an employee and an owner of Bliss and Nitrate. I met you 25 to 30 years ago. Barry Ross was a CPA for Bliss and Nitrate at the time. He referred me into your firm, and I first met John, Sarah, Ron, those folks, and I met you guys. So I met you when you really thought you were a young, hot stud, but reality is, I was a young, hot stud. One of the funniest things I know about you, Paul, is one day I said to you, you have a phenomenal memory. And you said, Mark, no, I don't. I use my calendar to remind everyone else what they need to do. My memory's not really that good. I thought that was pretty comical. Paul, the most amazing thing about my relationship with Bliss and Nitrate, you, your partners, your leadership team, and your employees is, it's been a phenomenal experience. I have been blessed to be able to work with you guys for a long, 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 long time. Paul, at the end of the day, you're celebrating your 40th anniversary with Bliss and Nitrate, but let me tell you, the best thing is you and I have become true friends. I value our friendship. We will always be friends, and God bless.
I've been asked to give a few words about my good friend Paul Zilio. It's hard to believe, 40 years with BNI. I've known you for almost 20 of those, and it's been an absolute honor and a privilege representing BNI and working with you, Paul. We've come a long way. Talked about all the different legal aspects, learning about claims of lien, notice to owners, satisfaction of liens, and it's been a real thrill to work with you for so long. I remember when you took me for a behind-the-scenes tour of Marlins Stadium back when it was still in construction. As a huge Marlins fan, it was a lifetime moment, and I thank you for that. I realize how cool my client BNI is, all the great stuff they do. So just look forward to continue to work with you until you ride off into the sunset. Don't know if that's ever gonna happen, the way I know your work ethic, but it's been a pleasure. Congratulations.
Happy 40th, Paul. I was trying to do this video by myself, but you know we can't shake him.
Guess who, buddy? Guess who? Hey, happy 40th anniversary. I am sure Bliss and Nitrate would not be a tenth of what it is without your tenacity, your ferociousness. When we are getting ready to go see Paul, Crystal, what is the first thing we say to each other?
Are you prepared?
You better be ready, because this guy's gonna grill you. Although
Make us better. You have made us better every single year, Paul. And you're sweet to me.
Not to me, but that's okay. You're very appreciative, and for that, I am grateful, okay? Also, when we get an email at 3:15 in the morning, what do we say to each other the very following morning as soon as I waltz in here around 9:30 that you've already been here since 7?
You better reply fast.
Paul, you need to get a little more sleep. You've been working way too hard for way too long. We love you, Paul. We want many more years of being held accountable, and we're looking very much forward to that. We love you, we love Tony, we love everybody at Bliss and Nitrate, but yes, you always make us the best we can be. Happy 40th anniversary. We love you, buddy.
Congratulations on your work anniversary, Paul. As we celebrate 40 years, you're joining a pretty exclusive club. When I started running the West Palm Beach office around 2010, you and I spoke almost daily. Your input and advice was invaluable with keeping our West Palm office active during a very tough economic time. At UF, I learned the concepts of engineering, but I like to say I went to the PZ School of Engineering Business. A majority of what I know about the business side, I learned from you, whether it be contract review, collections, or even human resources. I admire that no matter the task, you have BNI's best interest in mind. You are my sounding board at 4 a.m. and sometimes even at 2 a.m. if I can't sleep. You've left a mark on my career that I'm passing on to those I work with now. Thank you for everything you've done for Bliss and Nitrate, Paul. I appreciate it very, very much. Happy anniversary.
Hey, Paul, 40 years. I can't even imagine. Not even 40 years old. I can't believe that it's been 15 years that I've been working with you. I still remember to this day when I got the phone call from you. I was actually in traffic driving to Hialeah, where I was working for a fabricator of floor grates, USF Fabrication. And I remember getting a call from you, and you were saying to me, we have another offer, and that person has a master's, but we really liked you in the interview. And if you're willing to take this offer, would you take this offer? And it was a little lower than I was currently making, but for me, it was a no-brainer because I wanted to be a structural engineer. And then ever since that day, I came in the office. I was a little timid in the beginning. I took what came my way. I did a lot of inspections. And you were always somebody that I looked up to. As I developed here, I've tried to emulate your energy that you bring to the office every day. You're constantly on the go, completing work, focused on the next task. And as I continue to develop as an engineer, and obviously my engineering skills came from others in the office, but I got to be, our roles together have changed. And one really neat thing is how now it's over time you've come to me for engineering, and how now I get to be a resource for you. And I think that that's really been something that I've loved. I've also enjoyed our 8 o'clock calls every day, basically. In a sense, it keeps us connected when we're kind of on different pages, considering you're more of an early person, I'm more of a late person. But throughout my career and as I became a partner, you've always been somebody I knew I could count on, whether it be talk personal, whether I asked you about finances or taxes or something un-engineering related, you've always been a great source. And I'm looking forward to the future and how we continue to evolve together. And I know as you get older, there's going to be lots of tasks that you do in this firm that either myself or others are going to have to take on, and it's going to be challenging. And we're up to the challenge, but on the same side, I don't think we'll ever be able to do it as well as you have. And we appreciate everything you've given to us, the opportunities you've given myself and Camilo and Alejandro and all the other partners, I'm sure, are very appreciative of everything. And we just thank you. And 40 years flies by, and I see my kids growing up every day, and I can only imagine how you feel with that and having young daughters, married, and having children now. So you need to enjoy that, enjoy your life. And again, thank you for everything you've done here at BNI, and hopefully, we'll have many, many more years with you.
Take 39. Congratulations, Paul, on your 40th anniversary at BNI. That is a milestone that very few people will ever achieve. Some fun facts about April 17th, 1986. Kiss, the song by Prince, was the #1 song in the country, and Aliens was the box office movie hit. My wife was 5 days old, and I was the size of a lima bean. All jokes aside, thank you for your dedication to BNI. I admire your competitive spirit, whether it be the BNI Bandits, the BNI Open, the Corporate Run, or more recently, the BNI Pickleball Tournaments. You're always a great competitor. I love your honesty. You always know where you stand with Paul, whether it be good, bad, or otherwise. And thank you for always being available for my phone calls, whether it be 4 a.m. or 5 p.m. I know that if I call, you're going to pick up and you'll answer any question I have with your undivided attention. I look up to you as a role model, as a father with daughters similar to me. And I'm not sure how many more years you have with BNI, but however long it is, I will enjoy every minute working with you. Congratulations again.
Paulito, congratulations on 40 years with BNI. I can't believe that our marriage and your career with BNI go hand in hand. We were married 8 months when you joined BNI. I know firsthand the growth you've had with the company. Both of us feel very grateful to John Nitre for seeing something in you beyond engineering. You took courses at UM, took the Dale Carnegie and Principal Training programs, and immersed yourself in areas like business development, recruiting, accounting, finance, law, human resources, insurance plans, 401k plan, basically you name it and you learned it. Now at the pinnacle of an incredible journey, I can only say that I'm thrilled to see you celebrating such an accomplishment together with your partners and the entire BNI family. Love you.
Congratulations on 40 years of hard work, dedication, and investment in BNI. I'm sure your mentors, colleagues, and employees can speak to the value you've brought to the company. But we as your kids and former BNI employees can speak to what it has done for us as your family. You not only supported us with a stable roof over our heads, good food in our fridge, and sensible cars to drive, but you and Mommy also prioritized our education, as well as meaningful experiences as a family. Aside from the financial aspects, we as your kids also got to see our dad hone in on his natural talents, perfect his skills, and put in the energy and time necessary to advance in his career. It taught us that we can and should do the same.
Proud is an understatement. Congratulations!
Congrats, Paul. Congrats, Paul.
Congrats, Nono.
Yeah!
So, congratulations, Paul. As you can imagine, a lot of people had some good things to say about you. So how do you reward 40 years of commitment? You really can, but we try. And Paul, not being the person who enjoys jewelry or the Rolex watch like we've done for others. So Myra and Paul elected to take their 2 daughters, their husbands, and their 2 grandchildren on a Disney cruise, I believe sometime in June of this year, and BNI will be paying our part. One last thought. when you get to my age or Paul's age, when you realize you have less days ahead of you in your career than the past, sometimes you look back and you wonder if you can change a few things. And hopefully, in the distant future, when Paul decides to retire and he looks back at his career, I know that you will find very few things that you will change. And the reason for that, because you are a good Christian man who does or try to do the right thing always. I love you, always will.